So what is Akoma Day? So Akoma Day is a day that was created by this couple named Mawasha, and they created this day so that it could release the expectations surrounded around Valentine's Day, and also as an alternative means for Black people in America to be able to celebrate something traditional around the same time, utilizing the same energy, but with a deeper meaning other than just chocolates and candies. So the Akuma symbol that is represented in Akuma Day comes from the Asante people of Ghana. All right. And so when we look at this symbol, it actually means the heart. The symbol comes from the Ndinka symbols, and the Ndinka symbols are symbols that the Ashanti people utilize in order to represent certain proverbs in their culture and their way of life. I mean, they mean other things, but for the most part, that's what those different symbols represent. And there are several different Ndinka symbols. All right, so you can find Ndinka symbols like anywhere on the web. I'm not gonna go into a whole deep dive about that. But also on each day of Akuma Day, as you're representing each principle and you're representing each virtue, you're also providing some form of this same offering to your ancestors. And there's a prayer that you can say with this, or you can create your own, and you can provide your own offerings. And offerings does not just mean food, you guys. Offerings can mean a token of love, a different type of energy exchange that you'll use. Like one offering that I love to give to my ancestors is the ability to write to them, or sometimes just sitting in the space and reflecting on their energy and embracing their energy and going within to channel certain energies about my ancestors. So you can pretty much honor your ancestors and provide offerings to your ancestors on each day of this traditional day, and not even spend a dime if you don't want to. So today's virtue of Akuma Day is flexibility, and the principle is unified purpose. So looking at flexibility and what flexibility really means is having that ability to bend without breaking. And you can get a good example of this ability like with your joints, and when you're doing like yoga, and you notice that you're able to bend in certain ways and you won't break a bone, yet you'll become more flexible, and you'll be able to see how far you're able to push yourself beyond the point of which you thought you would have broken. So when we think about flexibility, things that you've been able to, I would say compromise or be flexible on, or, alter just a little bit in order to have that flexibility in support of the relationships that you are in, right? And then the other one, the unified purpose. And most of the time you hear people saying, oh, I'm self-made, I did it on my own. You would have been able to get a lot farther in that unified purpose than just being by yourself doing it. It's how they say like teamwork makes the dream work. So looking inside of your different relationships, so whoever you are celebrating the Akuma with, or if you're celebrating the Akuma with yourself, looking at how you're able to express flexibility, and how that shows up for you, and looking at how you're able to operate in this unified purpose, and how that shows up for you in every aspect of your relationships or your relationship, and being able to convey that symbolically through your actions and gestures today. What a virtue is. The virtue is the moral standard or the celestial hierarchy, like the thing that drives this thing. So in order for you to have this unified purpose, it required flexibility. Like in any relationship, any successful relationship, there's ebbs and flows. There's give and take. There's compromise. There is, patience. There's things that are thought out in these types of relationships, in successful relationships. And this relationship could be a relationship with someone that you love, someone that you're intimate with, or throughout your friendships. But let's just look at an intimate relationship or a life partner or a soulmate. The idea is that the soul was connected initially before it came into the womb space. All right. And so now you're going throughout this journey and you are reconnecting with this soulmate. All right. You're reconnecting with this soulmate. And in this reconnection, there's a creation that is happening. And so what Akoma is reflecting is that in order for this creation to happen, there had to be some flexibility. There had to be some things that were able to, you had to kind of bend on a few things, but it didn't kill you, it didn't break you. And through that, you was able to create this unified purpose. You guys were able to create this togetherness and this unified oneness based off of that one objective or that one intention that you set. So like if you and your person are creating a goal together and you guys got something that you desire to accomplish, well, there will have to be some flexibility in order for you guys to reach that unified objective together. All right, so some changes will have to ensue, or some changes will have to occur. Day 2 of Akoma Day. So day 2 of Akoma Day, in order to know what Akoma Day is, you're gonna have to go and check out the previous clip. I'm just putting this information out there so that people can know that there are other alternatives out there if they choose to partake in the festivities, but not necessarily partake in the Valentine. Day 2 of Akuma Days is patience is a virtue. No, I'm joking. But the virtue is patience. And so patience is the ability to accept and be tolerant of certain things, or to tolerate certain things. To suffer in certain situations. I don't want to, like, suffering is kind of a bad word, but I mean, it is what it is, without getting angry or upset. And so day 2 of Akuma Day, that expression is being patient with somebody, you know, taking your time with someone, or being having that self-restraint with someone in order for them to feel love and appreciated and accepted. You know, maybe it'd be with your kids, you know. Your kids might be getting on your nerve, and guess what? You want to snap on your kids, or you want to put them in timeout, or whatever it is that you want to do. But having that ability to be patient with them would be how you now have applied this virtue for today. And then the unified labor, the ability to work together on something. All right, so it's the same as unified purpose, where you're working towards the objective, but this time you guys are working together on something. You guys are doing the labor together. It's not just you doing the stuff with the kids, it's you and your partner doing stuff with the kids, or it's you and your kids collaborating together and working hard together to accomplish whatever the objective is. So that's day 2 of Akuma Days. So day 3's virtue for Akuma Day is faithfulness, and the principle is transformation. And so faithfulness, being loyal, the ability to be loyal, this is the moral standard. And then the principle being transformation, the ability to change its form. Okay, so something that's changing its form. So looking throughout your relationships and seeing how you have applied faithfulness, what have you held allegiance to or loyalty to within your relationships, and the transformation, what has changed about you within this space, or what has transformed about your partner, or your children, or your friends within this space. And then even if you're just doing a self-reflection, how have you transformed with the relationships? How have you maintained? Who has maintained their loyalty to you? And we're not talking about on a superficial level. We're talking about loyalty, something that you could tangibly see these acts of services being played out, this allegiance, this devout honor and loyalty that has been committed from one person to you, or you to the next person. So loyalty and transformation. All right. So next for Akoma Day, we have consistency being that virtue, and fruit, unified fruit, being the principle. And so when we're thinking about consistency, we're talking about the steadiness of something. So how steady you have performed at something. So the performance, the consistency in the performance, the stability of the performance, how actively you have been invested in something. All right, and so looking throughout your relationships and looking to see where you have maintained your consistency, or where someone has maintained that consistency for you, and applying that throughout your actions today with being consistent. All right, so everything that you do on this day, maintaining consistency. The fruits that will bear from this consistency. What fruits have bear from you being consistent? What things have come into fruition? Fruits, this principle being the reward from the works that you have put in. All right, so what areas have you applied consistency, and what fruits did you see? What rewards came from this consistency? And how will you apply fruits today in your application of Akoma? All right, and so the consistency that you put in today, what fruits will bear from that consistency, and how would you apply these actions to your day? So I'll maintain my consistency in work today. And if I maintain my consistency in work, then it's going to reward me in this way. Or I'll maintain my consistency with being emotionally available to my family today. And through this consistency of emotional availability, the fruits that I will be rewarded from is my family feeling nurtured today, or they feeling that they're feeling validated today, or they're feeling loved today from me and my consistency and my efforts to provide stability within their lives. So Akuma Day's virtue for today is endurance, and the principle is mine. And so with endurance, this is the ability to continue a particular process without giving way, without quitting. All right, so looking throughout your spaces and seeing how have you applied endurance throughout your relationships, throughout your day, and how has it affected the mind and brought about certain levels of awareness within your relationships, or within your system. All right, and so the mind being the principle is the mental processes of a person, or is it enables you to be aware of certain things, be aware of certain experiences, and the world that you live in gives you the ability to think. And so how has this ability to maintain your endurance throughout this relationship allow you a certain amount of awareness within the mind? All right, but I'm definitely not trying to give you guys the answers to the quiz, but I'm just trying to put them in a, bring them about so that they'll be easy to digest or easy to understand. Because when it comes to these principles and these virtues, having the best understanding of these things so that you can put them into practice is key. And then different people come up with different things in their thought process when they're doing this. I'm just giving a quick rundown of how I would apply these things throughout my days. So the virtue for Akoma Day 6 is fondness and goodwill, and the principle for today is unified body. And so looking at fondness, how much you like a person, or how much you like something, or how well you like something. And then looking at the goodwill, like the good deeds that you would do, or like what would you do to help somebody today, or how could you help, how could you provide goodwill towards a person, or and the body being the physical aspect of the person's soul or spirit, like the physical evolution of that, and how has your ability to, you know, help this person assist with their outward expression of their spirit, or the outward expression of their soul. So just looking at it in that aspect as well. So unified, so fondness, goodwill, unified body. So last but not least, you have Akoma Day 7, which is the virtue is forgiveness, and the principle is unified spirit. And so forgiveness being the ability to forgive someone, exonerate them for whatever their wrongdoings are, or, you know, just kind of let that particular situation or whatever it is that's preventing you from being able to provide love through forgiveness on today, letting that go and releasing that. And then that principle being the spirit, like how is this unified spirit is like, this is the seat of the emotions, and the seat of the character, like, you know how to say, like the seat of the soul. And so those that is it's a definitive, this is a definitive element. The spirit is a definitive element of this person's character, of what this person's expression is, the non-physical of a person. So it's the thing that you see that doesn't have any form. It just has an expression, and you can feel it. You can feel a person's soul. You can feel a person's character through this soul. And so this is the unified spirit. All right, the unified spirit. So the coming together of the spirit. So how are your spirit's unifying with someone? How is it becoming unified? How is the spirit unified with someone? Who is the spirit unified with? What is the spirit unified with? What source is the spirit unified with? You know, so looking at those aspects of those things, and also looking at the thing, how have you applied forgiveness within your certain situations, your relationships, your families, your friendships, your courtships, and things like that. How have you applied forgiveness in order for the spirit to become unified? You know, so things like that. Today it has a deeper expression. It has deeper meaning. You can apply this to your situation. You can apply this to your ancestors, like even going to the ancestors, just to throw one out there so that this thing isn't too long. Looking at how you have applied forgiveness to your ancestors. You know, how has your ancestors applied that forgiveness to you through your ability to work with them? How have you been working with your ancestors? You know, what things have you done in order to forgive them? What have you done to exonerate your ancestors? So what have you done to exonerate your ancestors from whatever acquisitions or transgressions, or whatever the case may be, that you may have felt like they've done to you, in order for you to move forward as a unified spirit with your ancestors? You know, so that's how you can apply that today. And that's how you can apply that principle on today. So you can apply the Akoma principles with your family system, your ancestors. This could either help reestablish your relationship, or reestablish your relationship with your ancestors. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the virtues and enjoyed this communication, and I'll holler at you.